A gunshot cracked through the mansion corridor, sharp and furious, as Sung-hyun slammed a rival enforcer against the wall with one hand, the other gripping his gun so tight, his knuckles whitened. He fired again. Clean, precise, merciless. The man slid to the floor. Blood pooled. Footsteps of his guards echoed behind him, but Sung-hyun didn't wait. "Clear it!" he growled. His men scattered instantly. He walked into the bedroom, breathing hard, fury radiating off him like heat from a furnace. Ayana flinched at the doorway. She'd never seen him kill someone this close before. His suit was splattered, faint red streaks across the collar. He didn't look at her. Not yet. He grabbed the nearest cloth, wiped his hands, and then finally turned. His eyes landed on her, wide, trembling, clutching her nightrobe as though it could shield her from him. That look, that innocence, that softness, it pierced him like a blade, and it snapped something inside him. "I told you I don't touch virgins!" he roared, voice shaking the room. Ayana staggered back. Why are you yelling at me? What did I do?" "You lied." He pointed at her, the accusation cutting the air. "You should have told me." Her throat tightened. "Told you what?" "That you're a damn virgin." The words exploded out of him like shrapnel. He slammed his gun on the table. She jumped. Her eyes filled instantly. Embarrassment, hurt, confusion tangled together. "I didn't lie," she whispered. "You never asked." "I shouldn't need to ask," he shouted. She folded her arms around herself as though shrinking her body would make his rage hurt less. She opened her mouth to speak, but he stormed out, leaving her shaking alone in the silence. Earlier that evening, before the chaos, things were almost gentle, almost normal, if anything in this marriage could be called that. He'd come into the room without his usual coldness. He'd stood by the window staring at the night city lights. She sat at the edge of the bed, fidgeting, waiting for him to speak. "We need to talk," he said. Her heart had skipped, not from fear, from the hope that maybe, just maybe, they were finally going to act like a real married couple. But instead, everything shattered. Now he paced the hallway like a caged animal, replaying what happened minutes before the gunshot. The moment he kissed her. The moment he reached for her. The moment he realized she was untouched. His chest felt tight, suffocating. The trauma he'd buried clawed its way back with brutal force. His palms shook. Sweat broke along his hairline. He pressed his fist to his forehead, squeezing his eyes shut. Not again. Never again. He had sworn on blood, that he would never touch someone innocent, that he would never repeat the mistake that haunted him every night. But now, his wife, his own wife. He punched the wall so hard the plaster cracked. A guard rushed toward him. "Boss, get out!" Sung-hyun snapped. The guard didn't argue. Inside the room, Ayana sank onto the bed, wiping her tears with the back of her hand. Her chest ached. Her breath stuttered. She wrapped her arms around her knees, trying to stop shaking. She didn't understand him. Didn't understand why he reacted like she'd committed a crime. She'd never felt so humiliated, so small. Minutes passed before she heard footsteps returning. Heavy, reluctant, familiar. Sung-hyun stopped at the doorway, not entering. He stared at her for several seconds before he finally spoke. "You should have told me," he said quietly this time. But the edge in his voice remained. Ayana lifted her head, tears staining her cheeks. "It's not something I announce to strangers." "I'm not a stranger," he shot back. "You treat me like one." His jaw flexed. His eyes flickered with something. Pain? Guilt? Anger? She couldn't tell. You don't get it, he muttered. Then explain it to me, she whispered. Please. He looked away. No. Ayana swallowed hard. You married me, but you won't talk to me. You sleep beside me, but you don't touch me. You brought me into this house, into your world. Yet I'm alone. He clenched his fists. You're safer that way. I'm your wife, Sung-hyun, she said, voice cracking. I deserve to know why you act like being near me is a sin. That hit him harder than any bullet. He stepped forward slightly, and then stopped himself, as though getting too close to her might set the room on fire. You need to sleep, he said stiffly. I can't sleep, she replied, tears rolling again. Not after you screamed at me like I disgust you. His eyes widened, almost panicked. I didn't say. You didn't need to. Silence crushed the room. He exhaled, jaw tight. I just can't. Not with you. Because I'm a virgin? He looked away. That's ridiculous, she whispered. What kind of man avoids his wife because she's pure? He flinched, a visible flinch. Ayana noticed. There's something you're not telling me, she said softly. He shook his head, already retreating. Drop it. No. Ayana. His voice deepened, warning. I said no, she repeated, surprising even herself with her courage. I'm tired of being treated like glass, tired of being ignored, tired of feeling unloved. He froze. Unloved. The word stung him more than he expected. He turned away before she could see the crack in his expression. I'm going to the south wing. Don't leave your room tonight. And if I do? She shot back, a spark in her voice. He glanced at her over his shoulder, eyes dark, commanding. Then I won't be the only one spilling blood tonight. She inhaled sharply. The dangerous edge in his voice was real. This man wasn't bluffing. Not when it came to her safety. He walked out. The lights dimmed automatically. Ayana curled under the blanket, feeling smaller than she had in years. Maybe this marriage was doomed from the start. Maybe she should have never agreed to it. Maybe he would never want her. Across the mansion, Sung-hyun stood alone on the balcony, staring at the city as cold wind whipped around him. His chest felt hollow, his breath uneven. He whispered into the night, voice trembling with something he would never admit. I can't hurt you like I hurt her. His phone buzzed. His lieutenant's voice crackled through. Boss, we found movement near the east gate. Someone's watching the mansion. Sung-hyun's expression hardened instantly. Double the guards, he ordered. No one touches my wife. He ended the call, gripping the railing. Even if he couldn't be near her, even if touching her terrified him, he would protect her with his life. Because the thought of losing Ayana felt more dangerous than breaking any vow. Ayana barely slept. Each time she closed her eyes, she remembered his voice, cold, sharp, rejecting her like she was some forbidden thing. She had never felt so unwanted, so confused, so painfully invisible. Morning sunlight crept through the blinds, but she stayed curled beneath the blanket staring at nothing. A knock sounded, soft, hesitant. She didn't answer. Another knock, firmer. Ayana. Sung-hyun's voice came through the door, low and controlled. Open the door. She clenched her jaw. The sound of his voice ignited equal parts anger and longing inside her. She stayed silent. He tried again. We need to talk. No, she said finally. There was silence on the other side. Then the doorknob twisted slowly. She sat up in panic. The lock clicked open. He had overridden the system. He stepped inside, dressed in a fresh suit, hair damp from a shower, eyes unreadable. He walked with that same lethal grace she hated and admired. He closed the door behind him. You ignored me, he stated, You yelled at me, she replied. He inhaled sharply. I shouldn't have, but you startled me last night. I didn't do anything, she whispered. You reminded me of something. What thing? He looked away. The past. She waited, hoping he would say more. He didn't. So she stood from the bed, facing him. Sung-hyun, I can't live like this. You married me, but you won't touch me. You protect me, but you won't look at me. You sleep beside me, but you act like I'm fire. His throat bobbed slightly. Because you are. Why? She demanded. He dragged a hand down his face. I can't tell you. Then what am I doing here? Her voice broke. Why bring me into your life if you can't even stand to be close to me? His eyes snapped to hers, sharp and intense. Don't ever think I can't stand you. You acted like I disgusted you. He took a step forward. She flinched. He stopped immediately, pain flickering across his features. You don't disgust me, he said quietly. You scare me. That stunned her into silence. She whispered, What about me scares you? He shook his head. Everything. Before she could speak, his phone rang. He cleared his throat, turning away to answer. What? He snapped. Ayana watched him closely. His face darkened, jaw tightening. His fingers twitched with anger. When? He asked, voice dangerously calm. She heard faint replies from the other end. Lock the entire perimeter, he ordered. Nobody gets in or out. He hung up. Sung-hyun? She asked softly. What's wrong? He looked at her, tension rippling through him. Someone was spotted on the south side fence, watching your window. Her breath caught. For me? For you, he confirmed. They've been testing my security for days. Her legs felt weak. Who would watch me? My enemies. And apparently they think you're the easiest way to get to me. Because I'm innocent, she whispered bitterly. His eyes narrowed. Because you're mine. The words vibrated through her, warming places she didn't want to admit existed. He stepped closer, but slowly this time, giving her space to back away if she wanted. She didn't move. I'm increasing your security, he said. I don't need more guards, she muttered. I need answers. He stiffened. Why do you hate virgins? She asked suddenly. He froze like someone stabbed him. I don't hate them, he said tightly. Then why make a vow against them? His chest rose, fell, rose again, like he was wrestling with ghosts. Because I ruined someone once, he said, and she paid with her life. Ayana swallowed. Who? He looked at her with eyes flickering with grief so raw she felt it in her bones. Someone from my past. Someone I can never bring back. She took a step toward him, slowly, cautiously. Sung-hyun. He lowered his gaze. I won't talk about her again. But I'm not her, she whispered. That stopped him cold. She reached out, just enough that her fingers hovered inches from his sleeve. But she didn't touch him. You can't punish me for something I didn't do. He inhaled shakily. That's what I'm trying not to do. Then let me in, she whispered. He looked tortured, conflicted, like every piece of him wanted to yield and run away at the same time. But before he could answer, another phone buzz sounded. Ayana's this time. She frowned and grabbed it from the bedside table. Unknown number. A text flashed on the screen. I see you. Pretty little wife. Does he protect you because you're pure? Or because you break him? Ayana gasped. Sung-hyun snatched the phone from her hand. When he read the message, his entire body turned to stone. Where did this come from? He demanded. I don't know, she stuttered. My phone just lit up. His jaw clenched so tightly she feared he'd crack a tooth. This is why I told you not to leave your room. Someone is watching you." Her pulse raced. "What do they want?" "Me," he said. "They want me off balance." "And I'm the weakness," she whispered. He looked at her sharply. "No, you're the weapon they want to use against me." She shook her head. "This is insane. I never signed up for—" "You married a Mafia boss." He cut in. "Danger comes with the name." "I know," she said, voice trembling. "But I didn't know you came with so much pain." His eyes softened just a fraction. "I never wanted you involved in any of this." "But I'm already involved," she said. "And you're still not telling me everything." He exhaled. "I will. Just not today." "That's not fair. It's safer." She wanted to scream. Instead, she whispered, "You're protecting me from the truth, not danger." His silence confirmed it. Footsteps approached. His lieutenant, Min Jae, appeared at the door. "Boss," he said urgently. "The intruder from last night left something by the back garden." "What?" Sung-hyun asked. Min Jae held up a small black envelope sealed with a red wax mark. Ayana's stomach churned. "What is that?" Sung-hyun recognized it instantly, and his face drained of color. "It's her mark," he whispered. "Who?" Ayana asked. He didn't answer. He tore open the envelope. Inside was a single photo. Ayana, asleep in her bed, taken from outside the window. Ayana clapped a hand over her mouth, trembling violently. Sung-hyun's throat tightened. His hands shook, not with fear but with rage. And beneath the photo was a handwritten note. "Does your little virgin wife know what you did? Tell her, or I will." Ayana looked up at him, tears pooling. "Sung-hyun. Who is doing this? What are they talking about?" He shut his eyes for a moment. Then he whispered, almost broken, "The past." Ayana stepped back, her chest tight. "What did you do?" Before he could answer, Min Jae's radio exploded with static. "Emergency! We have movement at the east gate." Sung-hyun's expression turned deadly. "Ayana," he said, grabbing her shoulders, voice trembling with urgency. "Stay inside. Don't open the door for anyone. Do you understand?" She nodded shakily. He cupped her face briefly, his first real touch in days, then released her and stormed out with Min Jae. Ayana stood frozen, heart pounding, staring at the open envelope on the bed. Whoever was watching her, whoever wanted Sung-hyun shaken, they knew something about him, something he never told her, something big enough to destroy everything. Ayana's hands trembled as she stared at the photo. Sung-hyun's expression haunted her, cold, tense, almost broken. Whoever sent this knew more than she ever imagined, and that terrified her. Footsteps echoed from the hall. Sung-hyun returned, pacing, his mind racing faster than his heartbeat. He saw her frozen stance, the envelope on the bed, his jaw clenched. "They're testing me," he said, voice low, dark. "Trying to see how I react, trying to see if you're weak." Ayana's throat went dry. "Are they going to hurt me?" Sung-hyun's eyes softened, a flicker of vulnerability breaking through his usual icy mask. "I won't let them touch you," he said. But even as he spoke, the tightness in his chest betrayed the truth. He was scared, not of them, but of losing her. Ayana swallowed hard. "Then, what do we do?" He stepped closer. "We stay inside. We stay alert. I want every window monitored, every door locked. No one sees you. No one touches you." She nodded. Her mind raced. She didn't know if she was more afraid of the people outside or the storm brewing inside Sung-hyun. The man who avoided her last night, who had recoiled from her touch, was now pacing the room with a tension she'd never seen before. Minutes passed in silence. Then Sung-hyun grabbed the envelope. He held it up, examining it closely. "This isn't random," he muttered. "They know something. Something dangerous." "What?" she asked, panic rising. He shook his head. "I don't know yet, but they're baiting me, and they'll strike if I make the wrong move." Iana's stomach twisted. "Then, what happens if they succeed?" Sung-hyun's gaze dropped to the floor, jaw tight. "Then, everything we have is at risk, and I can't allow that, not you, not this life." Her heart pounded. She had never seen him like this, stripped of arrogance, stripped of control, vulnerable in a way that made her want to cling to him. Then a sudden buzz made both of them jump. Sung-hyun's phone lit up. He glanced at it, lips pressing into a thin line. "East Gate," he said, voice clipped. "Someone's moving." Iana froze. "What do we do?" "Follow me now," he commanded, grabbing her wrist gently but firmly. They moved together down the hall. Her pulse thundered in her ears, mixing fear and adrenaline. He led her to the security room. Monitors lined the walls, showing every corner of the estate. Sung-hyun's fingers flew over the controls, switching between cameras, zooming in, tracking movements. "Who is it?" she whispered, voice shaky. "Not yet," he replied. "But they're skilled. Whoever this is, they've been inside the perimeter before. This isn't a first test. It's a prelude." Ayana's gaze flicked to him. "And what if I do something wrong?" His eyes softened, almost painfully. "You won't. I won't let anyone hurt you because of a mistake." Her hand trembled slightly as she reached toward the console. He noticed immediately, his hand hovering over hers. Their fingers brushed. The contact sent a jolt through her chest, fear and something else, something dangerous she didn't want to name. He pulled his hand back sharply. "Do not!" His voice cut off, softer, almost strangled. "Just stay here." Seconds later, alarms blared. A figure darted near the east gate, cloaked in shadows. Sung-hyun's eyes narrowed, and he moved like lightning, grabbing a sidearm from the table. Ayana gasped. "Sung-hyun, wait!" He ignored her, moving toward the door. But something in her tone made him pause. He looked back, conflicted. "Stay. Behind the console. Do not leave." She nodded, frozen, eyes wide. She watched him disappear down the hallway, tension radiating off his every movement. Minutes passed. The sound of muted footsteps and muffled voices reached her ears. Her stomach twisted, imagining every scenario. Her heart nearly stopped when she saw the shadowed figure approaching the cameras, hands moving with skill, trying to disable the feeds. "Not on my watch," Sung-hyun's voice boomed suddenly. The intruder froze mid-step, and in a blur of movement, Sung-hyun appeared behind them. A scuffle erupted. Ayana ducked instinctively, heart hammering. Sung-hyun moved with lethal precision, every motion economical, every strike decisive. Within seconds, the intruder was subdued, tied and breathing heavily on the floor. Ayana ran forward, shaking. Are you okay?" He didn't answer immediately. He turned toward her, eyes stormy but controlled. "I told you to stay back," he said, almost whispering. "I know," she said, voice trembling. "But I was scared, and I needed to know you were safe." Something in his expression softened, a fleeting glimpse of something human, something raw. He knelt beside her, gripping her hands gently. "I am. Now," he admitted. Ayana stared at him, trying to comprehend the layers of danger, anger, and care coiled within him. "Sung-hyun, I don't understand why it's always like this with you." He exhaled slowly. "Because every step closer to you terrifies me. I swore off virgins. I swore I wouldn't—" His voice faltered. "I can't explain it all. Not yet. But you make me feel things I haven't allowed myself to feel in years. Her chest tightened. Even after tonight. Especially after tonight, he admitted, eyes dark, burning with a mixture of fear, desire, and guilt. Ayana swallowed. She realized in that moment that this man, ruthless, cold, violent, was as conflicted and human as anyone she had ever known. And she couldn't deny that she was drawn to him, dangerously drawn. They stood in silence for a moment, the weight of everything pressing on them. The envelope, the threat, the trust forming painfully between them. Finally, Sung-hyun spoke. "We have to be smarter. They won't stop. Whoever sent this, they want leverage. They want you." Ayana's stomach dropped. "Why me?" "Because they know the only way to hurt me is through you," he said, voice low, deadly serious. Her hands trembled. "Then, what do we do now?" He looked at her, eyes intense. "We fight, and you stay alive. That's all that matters." Ayana nodded, heart pounding. She realized the man she had feared, the man she thought would reject her for her innocence, was now risking everything to protect her. And in that, she found a strange, dangerous hope. He stepped closer, almost imperceptibly, until she could feel his presence pressing against her. His hand hovered near hers, hesitating. "I can't promise I'll get this right," he whispered, "but I can promise I'll protect you." Her lips parted. "That's enough for now." He didn't say more. He just reached out and gently brushed her hair from her face. For the first time, the cold walls between them cracked. And in that fragile, tense moment, the two realized their lives had shifted irrevocably, forever entwined by danger, secrets, and a bond they couldn't yet name. Sung-hyun led Ayana back to the bedroom, the tension between them tighter than the walls around the mansion. Every step echoed with the weight of danger, of unspoken words, of everything that had been buried in both their hearts. Once inside, he closed the door and locked it, then finally turned to her. The look in his eyes was softer, but no less intense. "They'll come back," he said quietly. "And when they do, I need you to trust me completely." "I do," Ayana whispered, though a part of her trembled at the idea of more danger. He exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. "I swore I wouldn't touch virgins," he admitted. His voice was rough, jagged with emotion. "But I can't look at you and not feel everything. Fear, anger, protection, desire. You make me want things I've spent years denying myself." Ayana's heart hammered. "Sung-hyun." "I know," he said, stepping closer. "You feel it too. I see it in your eyes. That spark of trust, that want of me. Don't lie to me. I can't handle lies right now. Not from you. Not ever." She swallowed hard, letting the words settle in her chest. She had feared him. Yes, but she also felt something else. Something she hadn't allowed herself to feel until now. She reached for his hand, tentative but determined. He hesitated, then took it, gripping it just enough to anchor her to him. "Do you really trust me?" he asked, voice low. "Yes," she breathed, though every nerve screamed caution. "Good." He let go slowly, pacing a circle around the room. "Because things are about to get worse before they get better. Whoever is behind this knows more than I thought, and I won't let you get caught in it." She moved closer. "Then let me help. I want to be with you through this, not hiding." His head shot up, eyes flashing. "You think this is something you can survive? This life? You have no idea what it takes to be near me." "I've survived worse," she said firmly. "And I'll survive this, because I won't leave you. Not now. Not ever." He froze. The admission hit him harder than any bullet, any threat, any past trauma. For a long moment he said nothing. Then he closed the distance between them just a few steps, and for the first time, hesitated. "I can't promise it won't be dangerous," he whispered. "But I can promise I'll do everything to keep you safe." She nodded, her chest tight. "Then let's face it together." He studied her, and finally, after years of suppressing his feelings, he reached out. His hand brushed hers, gently, almost cautiously. The electricity between them was undeniable. Her pulse raced, her breath caught, but she didn't pull away. "Do you want me?" he asked, voice barely audible. She looked into his eyes, searching for any hint of cruelty or mockery, but found none, only raw, unfiltered emotion. "Yes," she whispered. He exhaled, a tension she hadn't known he carried melting slightly. "Then we start here," he murmured. He moved closer, brushing a soft kiss against her temple. It was tentative at first, almost fragile, but it ignited something inside both of them. The world outside disappeared. The threats, the intruders, the danger. They all faded, leaving only the two of them, raw, vulnerable, and alive in a way they hadn't been before. Minutes passed, silent and heavy, until Sung-hyun finally pulled back, resting his forehead against hers. "I've never felt this way about anyone," he confessed. "Not since... before everything went wrong." Ayana's lips trembled. "I don't care about the past," she whispered. "I only care about now. About you. About us." He closed his eyes, a faint smile breaking through his usual stoic mask. "Then we'll figure it out. Together." A sudden sound from outside made both of them tense. Sung-hyun moved to the window, scanning the perimeter. The intruder was gone for now, but the threat remained. He turned back to her. "You need to stay here," he said softly. "No matter what. I will handle it. But no arguments," he interrupted, though his eyes softened. "Stay. Be safe. Trust me." She nodded, understanding the weight of his command. She watched him leave, heart pounding, every step echoing in the silence. She realized for the first time that she wasn't afraid. Not of him. Not of the danger. She was alive, and she was part of something bigger than herself. Hours passed. She sat on the bed, hands clasped tightly in her lap, thinking about everything that had happened. The threats, the secrets, the raw, unfiltered glimpse of the man behind the Mafia persona. She felt a strange, dangerous hope blossoming inside her, one that scared her almost as much as it thrilled her. By the time Sung-hyun returned, the first light of dawn was creeping through the blinds. He moved silently, sitting beside her on the bed. For a long moment, neither spoke, just sharing the quiet, the aftermath, the unspoken bond between them. Finally, he reached for her hand again. This time, there was no hesitation. "We'll be fine," he said softly. "I'll keep you safe, no matter what. And one day, maybe we'll have something real, beyond the chaos, beyond the danger." Ayana squeezed his hand, tears slipping down her cheeks, not from fear but from relief. "I'll hold on to that day," she said. He leaned close, brushing a soft kiss across her forehead. "Then I'll fight for it," he whispered. "Every day." For the first time, she allowed herself to truly rest, knowing that while danger lurked outside, and the shadows of his past haunted him still, they had each other. And in that fragile, dangerous moment, it was enough. As the sun rose, bathing the room in warm light, Ayana finally smiled. Not a laugh, not a carefree expression, but a small, genuine smile that marked the end of fear and the beginning of something new. Sung-hyun pulled her close, holding her like he never wanted to let go. Outside, the world remained a battlefield, full of threats and secrets. But inside, in that room, there was peace. For now. And though the Mafia, the enemies, and his past would always lurk, one truth remained. He had broken his vow. Not because of weakness, but because of her. And for the first time in years, he felt alive again. She rested her head against his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" he asked softly. "For trusting me," she replied. "For letting me in." He pressed a final kiss to her hair, a promise more powerful than any word. "Always," he murmured. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, so you never miss another thrilling tale.